Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today I have an upload, a follow-up upload. Jesse heard the upload the day I put it out. Went through the comments today and wanted to shed some light on a couple of things. So before we get into all that, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. Finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost you a cent. Click that like button, takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon. Also, share this video, please. And finally, last but definitely not least, leave a comment. Why? Well, because all of these things, they really do help this channel to continue to grow and go, and they definitely matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to today's upload, shall we? All right, guys. So a little after 9 o'clock last night, I received a phone call. It was Jesse, and he wanted to address a couple of things. To shed some light on a couple of things that were in the comment section and such. First and foremost, though, he wanted to thank everybody. I had made the statement. Pretty much I wrote everything down that he and I talked about that first night. And one of the last statements I made was that the thing that bothered him the worst out of everything, even though, losing your son and then losing your wife, he has come to terms with that. It's been 35 years. Is that his son is never going to be remembered. Because it was covered up. It was like a rug was lifted and his memory was brushed under the rug. And he said this last video that we did, or that I did for him, really made him feel like his son has now some sort of recognition. People are going to know what happened. And that made him feel good. Not good, but it did. It made him feel good. He was blown away by the amount of people and the amount of support that everyone shared. He said, I've never seen so many positive comments in any kind of video. So a very large thank you on that. Now there are a couple of things that he wanted to address and a couple of things that he left out. First and foremost, what the creature looked like. And one thing, though, is he nearly had a stroke. And there was a gentleman who made a comment talking about the exact location where this went down. The guy said, I've been to here, and he'd mentioned Welling Creek, and that's where it happened. It happened on Welling Creek in a kind of notch that sticks over into Pennsylvania. It just really, that actually frightened him, because where this notch is, it's Marshall County, West Virginia, Rich Hill Township, Pennsylvania. And where his son was standing when the incident occurred was the Pennsylvania side. The border's like right there. I mean, there's no wall. It's just a border. You're in the woods, you know? And his son's body was recovered in West Virginia. Now, that gave him kind of a stroke, but then he started to think about it, and the guy who said that he knew the location, he goes, then this guy knows exactly what's out there. When his wife was sitting on the opposite side of the creek, Welling Creek, she and their son, who will remain nameless, I asked if he wanted to, and he said no, please. They were both in the Pennsylvania side. He was in West Virginia. But it, like I said, it's not, there's no border. There's a border, but it's an imaginary border. When his wife stood up and he saw her face, the look on her face haunts him to this day, still to this day. He'll never forget her eyes. Her mouth dropped, and she had this thing that she did with her hand. She fidgeted with her hands when she was nervous or scared or upset. She was doing that after she had dropped her pole. When they first saw the creature, obviously he had mentioned the, fiery orange red ember eyes. Not amber, ember, like a fire ember. When this thing came out of the kind of wooded area and into his sight, into Jesse's sight, obviously the wife and son could see it firsthand. It was standing at least 7.5 feet tall. He's, like I said, he's long since been there. Before his wife passed, he'd gone there and he had done some measurements and stuff because he remembered certain heights of things, and you witness something like that, you don't forget it. This creature, the Dogman, it had a bushy tail. Its body was stocky but sleek. It was a really dark gray color with black tips almost. He compared the color gray to the darkest storm clouds. There was virtually no white on this creature at all. He doesn't recall it having any white. It was this grayish with kind of black tips. Its chest was jet black, and it had kind of black on its muzzle. Its ears were sticking straight up, but he had noticed that from where he was standing as he's watching this, the ear that would be closest to him would be the right ear. But on the left ear, because they were sticking up so high, they were at least 5.5 to 6 inches. They were just long. I've compared them to rabbit ears before because they're just big. They're huge. It had kind of like a tear. Like there was a chunk of its ear missing. No blood, but it long since been gone. And when it grabbed his son, he could see its fingers, just like a human's fingers move, and it scooped him right up like a football player and dropped. It scooped his son up with the creature's right arm, used its left arm to balance itself while holding the boy, and obviously its two back legs to propel itself away from the area that their son was standing at. While he was being questioned by the West Virginia State Police, he could kind of sense a feeling of, not remorse, but like they were having a hard time going along with what was going on with him and his wife. He 100% believes that the narrative of the scene of the day was controlled by the two guys who came in wearing khakis and like flannelish tucked in dress shirts. They did have a southern twang to their, they weren't northerners. And he got the feeling like they didn't really want to go along with everything, they'd leave the room, come back in. But when the two guys, when he was in front of them, there was not an ounce of compassion. It was like they were there to do their job, and they knew what they were doing. They knew how to handle it, and it wasn't their first rodeo. They didn't skip a beat. They flat out said, you go along with our story. Here's the story, and you go along with it. We've already told your wife the story, and you both will be charged with the murder of your son. And no compassion, no anything. And he 100% believes that these men were obviously some sort of dark government, but he could tell that just from their posture, demeanor, and everything else that they had some sort of special force background as well. the way they carried themselves. There was no slouch. There was no, anything missing. They were in their late 30s, early 40s, and just no compassion whatsoever. Now, when they did end up finding out that their son had been cremated, obviously he's out of, he's released. She's taken out of the psych hold. They have to tell their family what happened. And there was a lot of questions, like, where's the obituary? Where's this? Where's that? And, he just told his family, this is how it's going to be. This is what, was suggested to us. So the public doesn't know that there is a bear in that region until it's, taken out. And, no questions were asked after that. When he went to pick up the ashes of his son, he left out purposely. He didn't leave out purposely the description of the Dogman. He kind of just, as he was telling me the whole story, he kind of went, the most important thing is his son's memory to him, obviously. And he's told where to go. They're told where to go to pick up the cremated remains of their son. His wife obviously cannot go. She's at her family's home. They'd kind of separated for a little bit. They saw each other daily, but it was a hard time in both of their lives, obviously. He went to the funeral home, and the remains were put in almost like a very cheap urn, like a basic urn. And he said, no, my son's not going to be, put in that. Let me buy the best one. And as he's there, he's talking to or trying to get answers from the funeral home director. And, he's like, well, tell me what my son looked like. Tell me, this and that. And he said, I really don't feel comfortable sharing that information with you, sir. It was very bad. It was very, very bad. And a lady had come in to talk about, obviously, other arrangements for another family. And he ended up talking to the other mortician, who was now transferring the remains from the basic urn to the better urn, the best urn he could afford. And he said, listen, I don't know what is, what you were told, what's going on. Your boss doesn't want to tell me what's going on, but I want to know how bad was my son, this and that. There was a lot of damage done to his body. There was a lot of soft tissue damage. His stomach had been exposed and eaten. The tissue around there, the tissue on his legs and arms. And the mortician said, and there was a real foul scent of urine all over him. Like he had, like a wild animal had urinated on him. And that devastated Jesse, just devastated him, because after it killed his 9-year-old son, partially consuming him, and then pissed all over his body. And that's his exact words. I'm not being disrespectful in any way. That's exactly what Jesse said. Just that made him break down again. He was having breakdowns throughout all of this, like any parent would. And they had their kind of own little ceremony with their family. When they moved, they left the remains with his family, his mother and father. And when his family passed, he brought him back to where he lives now after his wife had passed and stuff like that. But his wife had nightmares for years. And she took her own life 9 years later, just tormented. This poor woman was tormented by the events that took place. But just a real tragic experience, man. And but Jesse wanted to let you guys know that he was blown away. And the amount of compassion that you guys gave him, he was like, these people don't even know me and they're saying prayers for me. I can tell he's beaten himself up every day of his life for the last 35 years. You can just tell. That nothing matters to him. But he started to get real teared up when some of the comments really just hit him right where it counts, And yeah. So he is really thankful for all of the positive comments that you guys have given him. And that's pretty much all of the fill-in that he wanted to share. He was really kind of upset that he didn't include what the Dogman looked like. And I was like, Jesse, you don't have to explain yourself, man. You do not have to explain yourself at all to anyone, to me, to them, to whoever. You've gone through hell. And he is very thankful. He also told me that he'll probably never go to that area again. He doesn't need to. He has his son with him in the urn, and there's no reason to go back to that location because all it does is hurt him when he goes there. But that's the update on Jesse. Just a really nice guy. And really grateful for the support that you showed him, and just real happy that his son is going to be remembered by myself and all of you who have heard that experience. I can't imagine, what he went through. These two men, and whatever agency they were, like I said, they did not share any kind of identification, but these two men in whatever agency they worked for are just plain not good people. They say that there are demons that walk on this earth and that have incorporated themselves into a human being. And I wouldn't be surprised that the agencies that work with these creatures and have to cover up these things, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them are demonic. Probably sounds stupid, but there's a spirit attached to Dogman. There's some kind of negative spirit attached to them, and I believe that there's like a demonic presence with them. Not saying that they are demons, but there's just some sort of bad, negative spirit attached. And I don't know. Anyway, that's the update, and fill in the gap. Jesse just wanted to let you guys know that he was appreciative and thankful, and wanted to fill in, what the creature looked like, how everything went down. So, wow, he has never seen another Dogman, never wants to again. He does wonder if the men went and hunted that Dogman down that killed his son. That's one thing that he wonders. And, obviously he beats himself up quite a bit still, but it's not. And I said this to him. I said, brother, it's not your fault. Either way, the thing was stalking your family for 2 nights. It was watching you. It knew. It had some sort of plan, I believe. He does too. He just wishes that he had put his son on the opposite side of that creek with his wife that day. And then I was like, well, you would be the only one there. It would have gotten you. And then maybe it would have gotten your wife and your son too eventually. After it. I believe wholeheartedly that this creature had a mission or a plan in its head to pick the smallest, the most vulnerable person out of that bunch. So, but guys, he really does appreciate all your support. And like I said, I said reach out anytime you need to talk, bud, because the anguish, the kind of fear. It's almost like a fear. Reliving this. But he said he did feel a lot better after sharing and seeing the response from you guys. And now knowing that his son, there will be some sort of remembrance. And I thanked him for allowing me to be part of that, and you guys as well. So that's the update and the fill in the blank from Jesse. He's got nothing more to share, and he doesn't want to share any more. I did let him know, if you do need to talk about anything, please don't do anything crazy or dumb. But yeah. So with that, my friends and family, thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you for showing the kindness to Jesse in the comment section, making him feel like he's part of the family here. And the support is amazing. It's truly amazing what you guys do. So, and you guys are what makes this channel continue to grow and go, and what makes it so special. Right there. I mean, the comments alone in that upload made him feel like he was part of something, made him feel good. So thank you guys. You'd have no idea how grateful I am. And it's you. Please, everyone, stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant. Please keep an eye on your children, your pets, your family, and friends. Share a little bit of information with those that we love and care about. It may just save their life someday. That little bit of information, that just a piece of what we share with each other on a daily basis here, may save their life. You never know. God bless you all.